Chapter 229 of JJK brings us two of the biggest twists of Gojo vs Sukuna that we've gotten so far. And honestly, we get something that both Gojo and Sukuna fans have been waiting for this entire fight. Also, definitely the biggest cliffhanger out of all the chapters that we've had in this fight. And that's saying a lot because we have had some major cliffhangers so far. It all starts where the previous chapter ended, where we get the reveal that Maharaga's Dharma Chakra Wheel had turned a click at some point during the fight, meaning that it adapted to one of Gojo's abilities. It's never been explained if Maharaga would be able to adapt to all of Gojo's limitless moves from just getting hit with like a reversal red or something, or if it would only adapt to reversal red in this particular example. That's something that hasn't been cleared up yet, but I'm sure it will be very soon. But you know, before I get ahead of myself, after the wheel clicks, we see Gojo's nose start to bleed a little bit, possibly because of how much he's been overusing his curse technique. I mean, he's been continuously using reverse curse technique to heal his own curse technique, and he'd already opened his domain like 3 freaking times to that point. Well, at the top of this chapter, Gojo simply wipes the blood away, and they both open their domain expansions yet again. Kusakabe and Angel pretty much restate what they said in the previous chapter, where Angel points out that Sukuna is such a genius with Jujutsu that he can copy any technique that he sees only once. So now that he saw Gojo use RCT to heal his curse technique, he now knows how to do the same, which explains how he's able to open his domain again so quickly. Kusakabe points out that Gojo needs to deal some heavy damage to Sukuna again to undo the Malevolent Shrine at all costs. This is of course calling back to the last domain clash where Gojo shrunk his domain to the size of a basketball, and whatever happened in there, he ended up dealing a massive blow to Sukuna's chest, which undid the Malevolent Shrine. This all happened off panel and we weren't able to see what happened inside of the domain itself, but thankfully this chapter that's different. But before all that, Shoko jumps in and tells everybody not to doubt Gojo, and if he can destroy Sukuna's shrine within the 3 minutes that it takes Sukuna to destroy Gojo's domain, then Gojo will win, because just hitting Sukuna with Unlimited Void for even a few seconds is GG's. So we then cut to inside the domain and Gojo is just letting Sukuna have it. Like he's straight up blasting him away and then using Lapse Blue to pull him back in and just unloading punches on Sukuna like a machine gun or something. Well, both of their domains collapse at the same time yet again, and just like last time, Sukuna's left with a pretty heavy injury, but this time it's on his face. He pretty much has like the whole left side of his face blown off. And this is actually super important because they opened their domains again for the 5th freaking time, but this time Yuta points out that Sukuna had to heal his face before opening his own domain, so it led to him opening his 0.01 seconds later than Gojo did. That seems like an insanely insignificant amount of time, but for Gojo, it was all he needed to finally trap Sukuna in Unlimited Void. So of course this is the moment that Gojo fans have been waiting for this entire time. He finally gets the upper hand on Sukuna and hits him with the full Unlimited Void, and Sukuna's face says it all. He's 100% getting hit with the full effect of this ability. Just when we think that Gojo is finally getting a massive dub over Sukuna in this chapter, this is of course when we hear the infamous phrase, "With this treasure I summon." And just like that, we see the wheel turn another click and a massive Maharaga makes its long-awaited appearance. Now, I'm not sure if Maharaga has always been this size. I don't know, I feel like in the Shibuya arc, he was definitely a lot smaller, like more human-sized. He was definitely bigger than a human, but he was probably like, I don't know, 8 feet tall or 9 feet tall if I had to guess. I'm just going off of memory though, so I'm not entirely sure. This might have been the size that he's been this entire time. Not sure if he's getting like a Sukuna size buff like some of the other Shikigami have. How Sukuna managed to do this while getting hit with Unlimited Void is kind of a mystery to me, but that doesn't really matter right now because the fact is that Maharaga is here to F shit up and Gojo needs to act fast. He realizes that he needs to take Maharaga out with a single attack to prevent it from adapting to any of his moves, so he goes in immediately to launch a reversal red. But at that moment, Maharaga pulls out the Sword of Extermination, which of course if you guys remember is made of positive cursed energy, and straight up one-shots Gojo's entire domain. Like just one freaking hit and completely shatters it from the inside. If that doesn't show how broken Maharaga is, then I don't know what does, because I mean this is Gojo's domain and Maharaga just sliced through it like butter. Gojo's shocked that it managed to adapt to his ability already, but of course to us the readers, we already knew this was going to happen. In the previous chapter we saw the wheel turn a click, and on that note I want to go back to what I said earlier, when just before Maharaga is summoned, the Dharma Chakra Wheel turns another click. I don't know if this was just kind of showing that Maharaga was about to be summoned, or if it was legitimately turning another click to adapt to another move. Like I said at the top of the video, I don't know if Maharaga was able to adapt to all of Gojo's moves just from experiencing Unlimited Void. I really hope not, because that would be way too broken, and Maharaga is already insanely broken, but that's not really elaborated on in this chapter. I mean, at this point, it seems like Gojo's gonna have to pull out a new move or something that nobody's seen before. Something maybe that he gained during his special training that he said he did while he was locked up in the prison realm. Because, I mean, what else can he do? He literally just had him in his domain expansion, ready to hit him point blank with a reversal red, and Mahoraga just dealt with it no problem at all. A lot of Gojo fans point out that this is kind of confirming that Sukuna is a fraud because he had to pull out Mahoraga in order to get the upper hand on Gojo. Like, he was about to lose against Unlimited Void. But we also got to consider the fact that Sukuna probably still has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, like possibly his true curse technique where he pulls out that flame ability, and a few other loose ends that haven't been tied up yet. I'm sure the same goes for Gojo as well. I mean, it only makes sense that Gege gives Gojo something else that he hasn't revealed yet to kind of shock the readers or something. That's more than likely going to come eventually. I don't think this fight's over by a mile. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys think that Mahoraga adapted to all of Gojo's moves by now, or just like Unlimited Void or something? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That is it for this one today though. Make sure to subscribe because I cover JJK content on this channel each and every week, or each and every time a chapter comes out. So that sounds like fun, right? Well, that does it for this one. Have an absolutely wonderful night or morning, whatever, and I'll see you guys in the next video.